Hey everyone, it's Joe, the 50-something Dasher, and in today's video, the topic of the video, the title of the video, I had to take a few minutes to kind of come up with the most accurate title that I could think of that most conveys what I want to talk about here. And what I came up with was getting deactivated. How much at risk can I afford to be? Okay, so now before I start, I know that maybe a lot of you watching this video or in the last week or so, this has been the hot trending topic as far as the gig tubers here on YouTube, these, the deactivation content. And you're probably thinking, man, these like content creators here, how much more can they beat this subject to death here? Um, but what I will say is this is a very important topic, and especially for us gig tubers here. This is something that's going on right now that is directly impacting us. And I know, like me personally, I still have things to say about this topic that I want to say about this topic right now. So, and that's the primary reason for me recording this video this is something that's going on right now that I feel like is affecting me, that I need to be concerned about. And that's why I'm recording this video and getting this out here. It's not at all to like cash in on clicks and views because this is the trending topic. It doesn't have anything at all to do with that. It has to do with the fact that this is something going on right now that I feel, and I'm sure a lot of these other content creators feel, that this is something that we kind of need to address right now and get some thoughts out of our system here and get posted. And one last quick thing here, at least for today, the day of posting this video, I'm going to turn the comments off on this video. I may choose to turn them back on at a couple days from now or a later date, but at least for today I'm going to keep them off. So no comments, no tomfoolery 4.4. I'm just not in the mood today to do any kind of moderating on this channel, and then that's the simplest way I can put it. I just not in the mood today. But anyway, so what I did this morning before my dash, it was a very short dash. I wasn't getting any good offer. I only did like 2 orders, and I was getting bad offers, and it just wasn't my day today. I don't feel good. I just logged off, and but anyway, before I started the dash, I came up with this chart that I made out, and I'm going to go ahead and throw up the screenshot here, and we'll go over it. Please excuse the quality of this. I'm not artistic at all in any sense, and also sorry for the typo on the left hand side here. It's supposed to be it was originally going to be a 1 through 10 list, but I thought that to come up with like 10 different stages was going to take too long or whatever, so I just simplified this and to come up with the 5 biggest stages. So that it's supposed to be 1 through 5. And I just forgot to change that last number. But on the left hand side here, you see, how important is it for me to have DoorDash? Like, so the left hand column is why am I door dashing, and how important is it for me to have it? And the other side of the chart here is based on where I'm at with the importance of having DoorDash. What do I feel my abilities are to post content about DoorDash on social media? And now, anybody looking at this, everybody's going to have their opinions. This whole chart, some people might look at this and say this is all just a bunch of BS, or some people may agree with this, or, everybody's going to have their own opinion. And that's why I got comments turned off today. But okay, so let's dive into it on the left-hand side. I'll kind of go over these different things here, and then kind of like where I feel I'm at in all of this, me personally. Okay, so scale of 1 to 5, number 1 being that DoorDash is, without DoorDash, somebody just wouldn't be able to pay their rent each month. I mean, you have to have, right now, you have to be on the app and can't risk getting deactivated. And I need DoorDash just to pay my rent each month. I mean, it's that big of a deal. And I'm sure there has to be Dashers out there that this is their only source of income. And they don't have a W-2, they don't have any other apps, or they don't have anything but DoorDash. I'm sure there's people like that out there. So that would be number 1. Number 2, DoorDash is primary income, but I have other sources that I can turn to. So it is, in other words, DoorDash is like a person's primary income, and they could get deactivated from it, and they have other sources of income to turn to, but it's going to put them in a really bad spot. Those other sources may not be able to cover everything, and they may even have to like find something else to get as well. But it's just they not as severe a situation as number 1, but still pretty severe. Number 3 here, I'm trying to use DoorDash to pay off bills quicker. So if you're at this level, then you can, if you got, basically you don't have to have the DoorDash income. Your other source or sources of income is enough to get you by each month, pay your bills and everything. DoorDash is just extra, and if with DoorDash income you can get bills paid off quicker and stuff like that. There's a lot of Dashers out there that fall into number 4. I'm just using DoorDash for some extra spending money. That's basically all it is. I kind of like to, I have some extra time during the week, want to, make a little bit of extra money, for extra spending money. And that's basically what it is. And so that's a lot of your Dashers out there. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what kind of percentage you'd want to put on it, but maybe, I don't know, 75, 80% of the Dashers out there, maybe fall into number 4. I don't know. Number 5, DoorDash is just something to do like when I'm absolutely bored to death. I got a day off from work. I don't have absolutely anything at all to do. I'm bored. So I just want to get out there and do something. And I talked about this before in previous videos, but I work with somebody that asked me questions about DoorDash and was thinking about getting on and whatever. And this person would fall into number 5. And did not need money from DoorDash whatsoever. Just basically just kind of like wanted to have something to do on the weekends. So now the other side of the column here, this is what I've kind of came up with as kind of like a guide. Now I didn't come up, all of this that I came up with is more for like myself. I should mention that as well. This chart here is kind of like more for like guidelines for myself and what I kind of feel is the risk versus rewards here. I'm not trying in any way to say that this right here is something for like everybody else to go by. I'm not trying to do that whatsoever. This is mainly for myself and kind of and my gut feelings about the whole situation right now that's going on, and kind of like how I feel that I should approach this, if that makes sense. So if I was at a stage one that without DoorDash, I couldn't pay my rent each month, then as far as how I should look at like posting content about, that should say the ability to post content about DoorDash on social media is what that should actually say. If I was at level one, don't post any content at all. Just if a deactivation would mean that you can't pay your bills, then my recommendation to myself is don't post any content whatsoever. And because I've talked about that in my previous video, not the awards video, but the one that was released before that. That this is what I talked about is you're already under supervision as it is just being a driver out there. You know, the system is watching you and watching how you do these orders, the time it takes you, the routes that you go, like all that kind of thing. And, you know, customer rating, we all know all this stuff. You start getting into like posting on social media, now all of a sudden you got a second set of eyes on you and a second set of guidelines to go by, and it's not worth the risk at all, in my opinion. This is based off of, in the last year, what I've seen going on and what's been going on here currently with regards to, you know, DoorDash and gig tubers. And at stage two, you know, DoorDash, my primary income, but I have other sources to turn to. As far as posting on social media, I would say to myself, you know, only post certain types of content with extreme caution. So, like for me in my situation, I think, you know, if I was at a level 2, I think I'd probably just stay away from the ride-alongs. Stay away from the ride-along videos to where other people and other places are in the videos, and just record just from here at home or in my car with my garage door as a background, or just some, you know, pretty tall trees and landscaping, but nothing else is shown in the videos. Extreme caution. If I was at a stage 3, I'm just using DoorDash. I don't have to have the DoorDash income, but I'm trying to get some bills paid off here. So then I can feel a little bit more comfortable or whatever with the social media. I've got here, post whatever type of content, you know, out of the different types. Just go ahead and post any of the different types that I want to, but be very careful with the language and the direct or indirect use of other people and other places as well. Just be, you know, very careful with that. Proceed with caution. Stage 4, you're just using DoorDash for extra money. In that case, you can be more relaxed use of language. You know, maybe if I was somebody that wanted to use a lot of profanity in my videos, you know, I'd say go ahead and go for it. You know, just at this particular stage, just don't go to the extremes. Don't go to like where you're actually like attacking specific people, or like verbally attacking and assaulting like specific people, specific places. You know, don't go to the extremes here. And then the final stage, Stage 5, DoorDash is just something what I do when I'm bored to death. Then at that point, as far as social media, just total free for all. But you just post whatever you want, however you want to post it. If you've got nothing at all to lose at all whatsoever, then just go ahead and post whatever you want. Okay, so now that we kind of have gone over this chart that I came up with in about a half-hour time period this morning before my dash, where do I see myself falling into this, and how do I want to proceed right now? Well, there's been some recent changes within the last couple weeks to my situation, and hopefully within the next I would say within the next like 6 weeks here, there's going to be, more changes. But I'm not out of the woods here, folks. So I would say about 2-3 weeks ago, I was at a 1 here on this list. I was at a 1. If let's say like a month ago, I would have got deactivated from DoorDash. Yet my wife and I would have had to come up with some different ideas, and we would have had to come up with something, to get the bills paid. I mean, we would have been in that kind of situation. Right now, today, I've fortunately, very pleased to say, I've been able to get myself up to stage 2 here. There's been some changes at my W-2 there, and for the last at least like 3-4 months now, they've not wanted to hire anybody. As they're wanting to, slowly work their way down in terms of the, what's words I'm looking for, the total staff size of the roster size of the building, whatever words here. They're trying to get that down. And as people have over the last few months have either transferred or quit or got fired, they haven't been replacing anybody. And also, I've seen a couple retirements, that type of thing. And nobody in the last couple months has been, they haven't hired from the outside that I know of. So the rosters keeps, dwindling down very slowly, and they're not hiring anybody, and they're doing the same work with shuffling around the people that they do have still. And so that's brought on more hours, fortunately, and also it kind of in the last just like couple weeks here, the floodgates have been opened on overtime. So this past weekend, whereas normally in the past, I might only get out of a 36-hour weekend, I might only get 26, 28 hours or whatever. I want to say I worked 34 out of 36 this past weekend, and I'm signed up for Friday. And so I should get actual real and true overtime if I go over 40. And that's not something that was happening a month ago and prior to that. So, and then the next, so I like I said, I'm fortunately at that stage now. I have 3 deductions on 3 main big deductions that come out of my W-2 paycheck. Let's call them, as far as the animals in the room, let's call it a lion in the room, an elephant in the room, and a monkey in the room. Okay. The lion, the predatory deduction that comes out of my paycheck, the mean ass monster, is the first one of these 3 to fall off. And I don't really know exactly when it's going to fall off. I'm now it's kind of looking like the beginning of August. It's kind of funny side story about this is I saw I'm signed up for the postal service to see my mail pieces that are coming to the mailbox. Like I get the emails in the morning that shows what I will be getting in the mail that day. So yesterday I saw that I was getting two pieces of mail. Well, actually, it just showed one piece coming to my mailbox. I go to open up the mailbox later on after work. There's actually two pieces of mail in the mailbox. And I go to, eagerly, I don't even come home I just stay at the mailbox, open up those letters. And both letters were essentially, for all intents and purposes, said absolutely nothing. It wasn't good news. It wasn't bad news. It was nothing. It was kind of like if I live in an apartment and I somehow, some way get pieces of junk mail in my mailbox, in my postal mailbox that have to do with replacing gutters and windows on a home and landscaping and lawn service. I live in an apartment complex. And why waste advertisement materials sending homeowner stuff to an apartment? I never could understand that. Same thing here. So as far as my lion deduction, I got no news yesterday at all about it. So I don't know. The elephant, that just depends. I don't really know. It's just gonna, I definitely not 2025, maybe possibly 26. That could be paid off. That's kind of iffy, so I'm on the hook a couple more years for that. The monkey in the room, that's a few years. That's probably 3 years or so. It's a little bit further out. But I'm not going to get till level 3 here. And the main thing that needs to happen for 3 is for the lion to fall off. And then I'll be at a 3. So fingers crossed, hopefully. I'm kind of thinking at this point, August. Stage 4. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know if I can even get to that. I really don't, because I've heard people for years, even 30 years ago when I was in my 20s, I even would hear people say, and people tell me directly, and a lot of people have always had this theory that people will always have debt. Just always have debt. There's always something that you're never going to have. Most people, most working class people like myself, never going to have too much money that they don't know what to do with. There's always going to be something. And I'm at an age now, 875 years old. I just don't see myself getting to stage 4. I never say never, but I don't see that happening. And stage 5, even if I could get to that point, there's no way. That's not me. If I had everything in life that I wanted, if I had the nice home and a couple cars, and had all kinds of savings, and I was in great, tremendous shape or whatever, I highly doubt that I would just be doing DoorDash just for kicks. And just to be getting out there, passing time. That's probably not going to happen. So anyway, that's where I see myself at. So I'm at a number 2, like I said, right now. And I guess it crossed my mind to put a kind of a temporary stop on videos just for a month or so, just to be extra super safe. But I don't know. And another question I have to ask myself is any of my content that I've posted to this point, 150 videos, or I don't even know the exact number where I'm at right now, total video count. I'd have to look. But is anything that I've already posted, would any of that be considered crossing the line? You know, I don't know for sure, to be honest, folks. I don't know. Maybe some of it is. Maybe somebody wanted to scrutinize and watch every second of my past videos. Sure, I'm sure there's a couple things you could probably point to, and if you really wanted to get right down to the letter of that TOS and deactivate me, then probably could. But I don't think I don't think my content, like, maybe there's some mistakes and things I shouldn't have posted or whatever, but I don't think basically what I'm trying to say is I don't think I've like overly like crossed the line. I don't think I've done anything intentionally and like very extremely egregious on an intentional level. My content's not like that. So nobody can say that about my content. So again, what this probably means, at least for the time being, I think the main thing I kind of worry about is the ride-alongs. And I think just for right now, I'm going to discontinue doing those. To be honest, I've never liked the whole ride-along thing to begin with. Never been a fan of that. But I don't know. I just get the sense that it kind of seems like that's what, with regards to gig tubers, that's kind of like what viewers like to see, is the ride along for whatever reason. And so even though that's kind of like not my style, not my thing, I don't feel real comfortable with it. But I wanted to at least try it because it kind of seems like I said, that's what people want to see. But I can't risk it. I can't afford to do those right now. You're never gonna be other people are going to appear in the videos. For example, I watched one of my past ride-alongs. I watched it later after I posted everything to YouTube. I was watching that video. I saw how I come up to a traffic light, and I was talking into my phone, like looking at my phone at a stopped traffic light. And you could see in the video where a car pulls up beside my car on the driver's side, and there's like two women. The passenger might have been like a younger person, a teenager. It's kind of hard to tell. But the person like rolled down their window and was like looking in my car to see what I was doing or whatever. And you could see the person. But see, I didn't see that or realize that another person was shown in my video until after it was posted, and I like watched it later. That obviously was not intended whatsoever. I had one more recently where I was parked in a McDonald's, and the McDonald's worker came up to my car, gave me my order, and you could see the McDonald's worker. Well, that's probably not probably something you shouldn't have, in your videos, Is that particular example enough to get that one video right there and that one like 2-second portion of the video? Would that be enough to get somebody deactivated? Maybe, possibly, And I was this This was this morning when I woke up really early this morning. I was watching some other content while I was getting around. And I watched about 2 to 3 minutes of 2 to 3 different videos of a new gig tuber. It's just been around like a couple months or whatever. And he's doing like this ride along where he was at a restaurant to pick up an order, and first showed the outside of the building, showed the restaurant and the whole shopping strip that was a part of, and then proceeds to go into the restaurant where the whole video was shooting everything in this restaurant except the dasher. It must have been like a body cam or something that he was wearing, and you get a full view of every customer standing in there and all of the staff. And even like he gets the order, and then the camera shows the ticket of the order with all the information, and he's putting in the last 3 digits of the confirmation number. And like, I'm sitting there watching that and cringing. It's like, nails on a chalkboard type cringing as I'm watching this. I'm like, buddy, come on here. This is spelling deactivation all in bold, giant font letters here. It has it written all over it. Another thing I'll say is I don't know, and I get it. It's like, I don't know. Part of me gets it, that why you're not supposed to show other businesses, other people. I get it. They're not consenting to be in some other person's like YouTube video. It'd be the same thing as if some movie production company was like shooting a movie here, like right off of my street, and I got inadvertently filmed while they're filming a movie, and I got filmed in it. I was off in the distance. I go to watch the movie later, and I see myself, walking our dog in the background. Well, I didn't ask to be in that movie. I didn't sign anything. I didn't pay to be in it. And, I get it from that standpoint. But on the other hand, these aren't major motion pictures here. This is YouTube content. I don't know. Is this just me personally? Is this attitude right or wrong here? But I don't know. We're not talking about major motion pictures here. We're just talking about a food delivery driver that's making content, and a day in the life of a delivery driver, and other people want to watch this content, and kind of, it's a little bit like entertainment. They're learning from it and everything. And you're getting other people and businesses in the shots, but it's not in any way to, you're just trying to provide information about the job or whatever to people. You're not trying to, you're not using those people in order to, the use of those people is not benefiting what you're trying to do or benefiting you in any way, at least in my opinion. If I'm making much sense. One last thing I want to address here before I end this video is, on a lot of these deactivation videos, I've seen a lot of I've watched, I've been kind of keeping up with this. I've been watching a lot of these deactivation videos in this past week from multiple different content creators, and I keep seeing comments from gig workers that, I keep seeing these same comments like, oh, who needs DoorDash? I've got 50 other apps to choose from. Or comments like insinuating that gig work is so like abundantly plentiful or whatever, that there's just so many apps that you can choose from. The possibilities are limitless. Well, I'm here to say that it's just in these last couple months here, few months, whenever it was that I started, trying to change my opinion, start multi-apping, that is not the case for me, like whatsoever. I mean, hey, to all you gig tubers out there that have 25 apps on your phone, you can just kind of pick and choose whatever you want to do and go for it. Hey, bow down to you like right now and praise those gig tubers for being able to have 25 apps. Because I can't do it. I've tried. I've got two. Two. That's it. Boom. Done. And it's not like I haven't tried to get on other ones. I'm going to do a whole separate video on this. I may even record it today to post tomorrow or the day after or whatever. The two apps. And then I'll post the next video where I kind of talk about where I'm at with trying to get on other types of gig work and everything, and thoughts, opinions, ideas, and everything like that. But yeah, it's for me, it's primarily just DoorDash. So and again, like, I mean, I don't live in like some far off extreme like rural hick town here. I mean, I live in the Columbus, Ohio area. I get it. It's not New York City, Chicago, Miami. I get that. But I'm not out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there is like, we got a couple things here. There's a college that it's little kind of, little community college type of thing you might have possibly heard of, called the Ohio State University. Few people have heard of that. So we got that. The no big deal, but the State House Capitol building for the state of Ohio is located here in Columbus, for whatever that's worth. And there's a few people that live here, kind of. Enough people to where you think there'd be, gig work opportunities, but hey, anything, and I'll talk about this more in depth in the next video, but it's just waiting list for me. So, when I go to turn the comments back on, the people that do have the 10, 15, 20 different gig work apps on their phone currently, that say all this stuff in these comments on these deactivation videos. Oh, I can just turn to something else. Well, I'd kind of like to know, I'd kind of like to hear from somebody that's gotten on multiple different apps this year in 2024. If you've gotten on to multiple apps this year, let me know about it. And also, where are you? Are we just talking like, New York City, Chicago, LA, that type of thing? Or are people in other areas been able to do that? Because I can't. So, and I'll talk about that more. Anyway, I'm getting really tired. I'm going to shut this down. Thanks so much for watching. I'll get through this. We're in tough times here right now, folks, but it's hopefully I'll get through this. I'll get to August, hopefully better days to come. Hopefully no deactivations. And thanks so much for watching. Make sure to drive safe out there, and we'll check you out next time at the next video. And that's it for now.